Good evening, Judy. Good evening,
Okay.
Felice. Do you guys need anything before we start?
No, is Felice here?
Yep.
Felice is with us.
Okay, because I just have you on my screen. Let's see. Hmm, I don't know why I don't see Felice.
Right next to you
There
on my
you are.
screen.
Felice, I have to go over November with you. We have quite a lot.
Okay. Is your camera on? Yeah. No, me.
Okay. I wiped myself out.
So when would you like to get started? Should we wait another minute or so, or you want to kick it off?
I think we should wait maybe 5 minutes or so because I'm seeing a lot more people on the attendance sheet versus who's actually here.
Okay.
Okay, Felice, do you want to think we can start?
Yes, absolutely. You want me to kick it off, Judy?
Kevin, do you want to?
Sure, I can do that. Welcome, everyone. If this is your first time joining us virtually, you will notice that you are currently muted, and everyone will remain muted throughout the meeting except for the committee co-chairs, Judy and Felice, and any presenters as we move through the agenda. As we move through the agenda, the co-chairs will call on members of the public wishing to speak. You can participate by going to the reactions icon on your device and pressing the raise hand button, not the wave or thumbs up, as those will disappear. Only press it once. If you press it a second time, your hand will go back down. If you are calling on the phone, it is *9 to raise hand and *6 to unmute. Be on the lookout for a prompt asking you to confirm unmuting once the co-chairs call on you. The chat is available for technical support to help with Zoom software problems, not to ask questions of the co-chairs. They will not see the chats. If you're using an older version of Zoom, you will need to go to the participants section where you will find the raise hand feature there. Please do not raise your actual hand or wave at the screen because we may not be able to see you. Chat me, I'm here for support. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. Welcome, everyone, to the October Parks and Waterfront Committee meeting. I am Felice Farber, and I'm co-chair of the committee with Judy Schneider. As we get started, we're going to hear an update from the Carl Schurz Park Conservancy by Executive Director Patrick McCluskey and President of the Conservancy, Judy Howard. So if you can unmute them, and Patrick or Judy, whoever would like to get started.
Hi, yep, I'm Patrick McCluskey. I'm the Executive Director of the Conservancy, and Judy Howard is here as well. So thank you for letting us come and talk to you again. We've done this before. I think I was trying to remember the exact last time that we did it. I think I was at home with not with COVID, but for COVID reasons. So I think it was a little while ago. So we had we're excited to give you an update on everything that we've been doing, especially because we're back to doing everything we normally did. So first, most of that and a lot of what I'm going to talk about first is just some of our kind of infrastructure work that we've been doing in our long-term infrastructure planning. You know, as you're aware, because of the COVID pandemic, not only in our park, but in parks throughout New York and certainly the United States, we all have seen a lot of increased usage. And that increased usage, you know, leads to a lot of, you know, wear and tear on our physical plant, especially like our lawns and other things due to soil compaction and other reasons, but also as much as important items like trash removal, you know, so thinking about those items and park usage, because we love more people using the park. That's always a great thing. Show it off and all the support we get from our volunteers and everything. We've been thinking about that a lot. For reprioritization of our capital projects and what those are going to look like over time. Really what we're doing isn't changing. We're just making sure that we're able to continue working on projects, including obviously all of, and I'll go through them, all of the flora and fauna, but also those infrastructure things. So the first thing I wanted to talk a little bit about is just the complete and total renovation of the southeast stairs on the 86th Street Cherry Alley. So there's 4 sets of stairs at the end there, just in case everyone is thinking, which stairs is he talking about? Because there's a lot of stairs in the park. If you go in on 86th Street entrance and walk down, there's the hoop staircase that goes up and around and up to the esplanade or promenade, whichever you call it. These are the 2 staircases in front of those that go up to the right to the south and up to the left to the north. The one on the right was the first one we did, and that's the one that leads to the large dog run. And that is mostly complete at this time. And we're just working to finish the north side staircase now. That project was a little bit delayed because of the stanchion security project that I'm not going to go into a great deal about. That wasn't a conservancy project, but just to mention that stanchions for security purposes, and Sheena, they can later answer questions on this from the Parks Department, but it was mostly also, you know, the counterterrorism type of stuff went in at all of the entrances on the east side and East End Avenue, just to protect for security. I do want to mention our continued partnership with the Parks Department on that. We were really happy to be brought into the conversation on some of those stanchion projects, just to ensure continued usage for important things like the treescape maintenance that we do, that making sure that the stanchion at the entrance at 86th Street in particular not only opened, but could open with a 180-degree angle to ensure the trucks could get in and out and do the work that they need to do. So, that just is once again, a huge compliment to the Parks Department for bringing us into that conversation and saying, what do you need this to look like in order to continue to do your work? And it happened without fail, and it was very, very helpful. So we were glad to have that there. But just to finish on that staircase, so we're hoping that work will be done very shortly. They've been in or ready to finish that work, and it certainly will be done at the latest by the end of the year, we think. And that was a project that the Conservancy funded and was close to $250,000 for those 2 staircases alone. So that was a big project that we were able to do, larger than some of our normal annual projects, but in the fact, again, that we had to take some pauses with some construction work due to the COVID pandemic, we were able to reprioritize funding and use it for a larger project like that. That being said, we've done other stonework throughout the park since we've spoken. So we restored the stairs at the 89th Street entrance as well to the park to more safely accommodate a large number of pedestrians going to and from the East Ferry. And we replaced a majority of the park's garbage cans, like I said, with more attractive Victor Stanley receptacles that maintain a cleaner appearance and also help to avoid rat issues. We all know that rodent abatement is a continuing project that is one of the things the Conservancy also helps to manage and pay for as one of our continuing projects. But some of the other things I wanted to talk about are just not only were we facing some continued usage problems and things, but the continued issues of climate change and flooding in our park has been something that we've been focused on as well. And we do think of that as an infrastructure project as well when we do projects like these. So one of the things we also did was we've been systematically installing choir logs, which are the coconut fiber rolls, into our lawns and hillside areas, as planted them, and many of them with clover. Clover is a little bit of a stronger lawn base because it has different roots that are stronger. And even when the lawns are being used for purposes that they should not be used for, they are a little more resilient in terms of the root systems getting pulled out. But we've already seen dramatic reduction in rainwater flooding, even at that hoop area where those stairs are that I was talking about before, because of the fact that the soil now is staying in place and not just all being washed down. And then in other areas of the park as well, when the soil does get washed down, it clogs our drains, which then means when we get even normal rain, the rainwater is not able to wash away effectively as it should. Now, certainly when we get storms like the one that we had a couple Fridays ago, and we get 5 inches of rain in Central Park within the morning, and that was what the recorded number was, but a total of 7 or 8 inches in the park, we're always going to see flooding. Again, we've been great with partnering with the Parks Department to have them come in what they affectionately call the suck truck, and they come and pull through and rip out as much of the wet debris as possible to clean those drains. And we've been partnering with them as well to make sure that when we do that work, it actually is after a storm like that. They're much more successful and able to pull out and go deeper each time when the material that is in there is wet already. It's kind of think of cement or wet cement, like it's a different type of structure. It's easier to pull out. So we've been able to do a lot of work on that as well. But we've also then been able to do some more of our fun things. We like to say we focus, like I said before, on flora and fauna, but also fun. So we've been able to do a lot of the fun stuff too. And we fully have been restored to our family-friendly events. We did our first Earth Day, which I want to talk about, in 2022. So we did our second one this year, but and we put up panels throughout the park that explain the important work that the Conservancy is doing, not only with the stonework and structural work, but also, to install native and pollinator friendly plants and strengthen our gardens in other ways with rules around why we're doing that and explain the importance of it. Our zone gardener program, where we have about 20 to 25 gardeners who are specifically assigned to certain areas of the park, has been strengthened in that way as well, because they've all signed a commitment to be working with our full-time horticulturalist who's in our park every day. Her name is Brianna George, to not just say, I like this plant and I'm going to put it in my zone, but to say what plant would be good for this area and this zone. And one of the ways, one of the interesting and fun ways that we've been able to do that is through our relationship with the American Museum of Natural History, where we completed a bee study of our park in the last year. And the results of that have been really the centerpiece to both informing our whole constituency about why we're doing what we're doing, and explaining how they can do things in their own homes even to help to support that. But like one of the interesting things we've seen is there's a large quince for and I just heard this story this week, which is why I'm going to share it, because I just heard it. There's a large quince in our park that has flowered beautifully for years. But after several years of following this pollinator friendly and really native planting kind of model, it's been producing the most beautiful fruit now and big things that we've never seen before. And that's because there are certain types of bees and other native pollinators that have been able to access it and use it and are using our park in that way. We also are continuing to offer, other than just the Earth Day event, kind of standing room only lately, spring and fall bird tours with our renowned bird watcher, Gabriel Willow. We do ask people to register for them, and we do about 20 people at a time, but we do 5 or 6 each season. And through that collaboration, and also with just local birders who have been involved in our park for years, we've identified more than 150 bird species in Carl Schurz Park alone. So it's all really interesting and awesome stuff that's making our park stronger and healthier and better for everybody. I really encourage everyone, not only if you have questions on these topics, but just if you want to learn more, to go to our website. So carlschurzparknyc.org. This is not a plug. I think it's fascinating. So I just think that you should go and look at it, because on our site, there is our Earth Day page that also, if you can't go into the park and see the panels, all the panels are there. But you also can go and click on the resources tab under our Earth Day page and see information about how we found all these resources. Click through and go to the American Museum of Natural History. There's even very interesting apps that you can download to your phone that some of you may have heard of. One that I really like is called Merlin. And what you do is you literally just take your phone and hold it up wherever you are in the park, or even in your backyard, wherever, and it will show you exactly what songbirds you're hearing in real time. So there's a lot of really cool, and there's other ones that are like that, like iNaturalist is a great another resource. But I encourage you to go onto that site, see more of what we're doing, and then also download those resources. But yeah, that's kind of an update of everything that we've been working on and everything that we plan to do. The only other thing I want to mention is that next year, we like to say, I'm pretty sure this is true, but we like to say that we're the oldest park conservancy in New York. We've been around next year for 50 years. So we were incorporated in 1974. So we'll be celebrating 50 years. You'll see it not only in a logo change next year, but also on everything that we're doing. And it gives us an opportunity also to do something special that we're planning. We're working out all the details, but we're going to be coming to any of you for this as well, because we'll need help with stories about, what you know about the park, what you remember about the park, photos that you can share of the park and what it used to look like back when you first moved to the city. So, this even the story about how we have people who are already saying, oh, I can't wait to share the story of how I got engaged in Carl Schurz Park. So that's going to be kind of our next big, we'll be sending a lot more information out about that as we proceed. But I'm happy to answer questions. And then I also will mention on the website at the bottom of every single page is all of my contact information. So I'm always willing to take an email or get a phone call and answer more specific questions about these topics or others.
Thank you. Really appreciate the presentation. It was very exciting, all the stuff that's going on in the park. Thanks for the information about Earth Day and the events and planting that you're doing. Before we call on any members of the public, I just had a question for you. The bathroom at 87th Street, the Parks Department, I believe, said that was something in need of renovation and needed funding for. And I was just wondering your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen historically throughout projects that have been done, even in our area, like I know Rupert's Park and others, that bathrooms are definitely a project done. They tend to be very expensive. I think that we'd be happy to be part of a conversation about what would happen there. But, I think an infrastructure project of that size would tend to be outside of the Conservancy's scope. to take on directly. And I'm not saying we wouldn't want to help. We, of course, would want to be involved in a conversation and see how we could help at whatever level we can. I think a lot of the ways in which we can help is the feedback that we get from users and our experience on the ground. Judy has been on the board for many decades.
Yeah, we won't go there. Yeah.
As I know many of you have been around as well. So we're happy to kind of be a sounding board for anything, and then if we can help in any way financially, we can discuss that on our board. But I don't think that we would be the lead funder for a project like that, just because I know the scope is so large.
Is there any, Judy, that you would like to add to the comments that Patrick has made?
Oh, I'm just going to thank you all for having us. And I think Patrick covered it quite beautifully. We always think there's going to be a lull at some point during the year, and I haven't found that to be true. There's just a lot going on, but we're just excited because we really are treating the park in a different way than, we had always thought of it as a park and gardens. And right now, the park is habitat. We are fully committed to providing habitat for all people, creatures, everything that uses it. And we're seeing the changes, and we've been very happy about that.
Thank you very much. Can I just ask, we should put in our minutes, what's the address of your website?
Yeah, it's carlschurzparknyc.org. And again, my email is just patrick@carlschurzparknyc.org. So anybody, yeah.
Thank you.
And I'll do, if you don't mind, I'll do one quick plug. We do have our Halloween Howl event is coming up on the 22nd. It's always very popular. The dog costume contest is on Sunday the 22nd with a rain date of the 29th. So come and see 150 plus dogs in costume.
And what time is it?
It's from 1 to 3. Registration is from 11 to 1. So you'll have to come a little early to register, but then the actual presentation of the dogs is from 1 to 3. And we also have on the Esplanade a Healthy Hound Fair with booths from local vendors who are dog related.
On the same day?
Yep, 1 to 3, same time. Oh, actually, that starts at 12 to 3. It's a little longer. So
thank you. Barbara, you have your hand up.
I thank you. You're bringing back memory lane. First of all, I want to say I just love this park, and you were missing one plug. I'm sorry I was late. Maybe you did it, but you should be telling people they should join Carlschurz's Park, because you get emails and things like that when you do it, and
absolutely,
helping our great park. So I'll give you the plug. I do have a question. You said 50 years. I will say my first life in the Upper East Side, I was a young mother, so that's how many years ago it was, going to the Carlschurz's Park Association meetings in people's living rooms. And I didn't move out to 76. This is my second life back. So you said you were Conservancy in 74?
Correct.
Yes, the association was established in 74. We changed the name.
I don't remember that. I didn't remember it changed.
Yeah, we changed. I think it was the early 2000s. We changed the name.
Maybe 2006.
Oh, you was, so not 1976.
Yeah, no, it was. We were formed as the association in 74, and then we changed.
Okay, that I do remember. I could tell you lots of stuff that I remember you're bringing back. I was chair of the playground, and
love it.
I just had wonderful times there. I always said I should pay my rent to Carlschurz's Park and not my landlord, since I was there.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barbara. Is there anybody else who has any questions? Judy, is there anything you'd like to add?
Oh, I just want to thank you both for coming. I know it's been a while getting you on the agenda. We each had problems and it took a while, but it certainly was worth hearing from you. So thank you for all the good work you do at the park.
Absolutely. Thank you all for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's very exciting, all the work that you're doing there.
Thanks.
Judy, do you want to take the next item?
Okay, so we will move on to a presentation by Kat Brady, the Vice President for Program Management of the Central Park Conservancy, about its fall programming in the park. Is Kat here?
Yes, hi. Thank you so much for having me. So hello, I'm Kat. I'm with the Central Park Conservancy's communications team, actually. And thank you so much to Community Board 8 for inviting us. I am here to just share a brief update on our upcoming fall programming, most of which is free or low cost for the community. So we're hoping that you can all join us in the park this fall. Before I begin, I just want to remind everyone I'll be going through these events and programs pretty quickly, but you can find details and more information on all of the events I'm about to discuss on our website, which is centralparknyc.org. And I can remind everyone at the end as well. So on October 21st, visitors can join Open House New York and the Central Park Conservancy at the recently renovated Chess and Checkers house from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Players of all ages and abilities can join us to test their skills at chess, checkers, puzzles, and other trivia games. Our Conservancy guides will be available to share their insights into the location's history, its design, and its recent renovation. The following week, we will invite you to join us for our annual Halloween on the Harlem Mere celebration. This family-friendly event is going to be held on October 26th from 4 to 7 p.m. Families can come drop off their carved pumpkins, listen to stories courtesy the New York Public Library, watch a magic show, and decorate trick-or-treat bags. The event will end with our signature pumpkin flotilla across the Harlem Mere, which is always so entertaining. This is a free event and open to all ages, but we encourage you to RSVP on our website if you're planning to attend. And I do want to mention that in the past, this event has taken place over 2 separate days, and this year it will just be happening on one. So that's on October 26th from 4 to 7 p.m. Now that it's finally feeling like fall in New York, we're also excited to announce that the Conservancy is offering fall forest bathing tours. So you can experience the Central Park seasonal colors and try forest bathing, which is a mindfulness exercise to reduce stress and promote mental health by being outdoors. Conservancy guides will be able to share the science of fall foliage and help you engage in a variety of forest bathing techniques. So it'll be a very relaxing tour. This tour will be offered in 2 sessions. So the first is on Sunday, October 29th at 11 a.m. And the second is on Tuesday, October 31st at 11 a.m. And you can register for this online on our website as well. And as the leaves continue to change, the Conservancy is also offering a variety of foliage tours throughout the park's 3 woodland landscapes. So our foliage tours will be offered through the Hallett Nature Sanctuary and Pond, the North Woods, and the Ramble. We really recommend these tours for anyone interested in learning about wildlife in the park, learning about conservation, and anyone who's interested in doing an active off the beaten path experience within Central Park. It's exciting that multiple dates are being offered for these tours, so definitely be sure to check out our website if you're interested in registering. There are plenty of options and different days available. And if you're more interested in a self-guided tour of the fall foliage in the park, then we highly encourage you to check out our peak fall foliage map. The Conservancy's arborists are out in the park every single day caring for the trees, and this map allows them to let New Yorkers know where to find the best and brightest foliage. So you can revisit this interactive map for continuous updates from our arborists on where to find the most vibrant colors in the park. And finally, if you're interested in adding any of these activities to your fall bucket list, you can check out the Conservancy's fall guide. So this guide includes a link to the peak fall foliage map, information about birds' migration patterns if you're interested in birding, and also a variety of info on where to find peaceful locations to enjoy the fall season and views of the park. And that is it on our end. So again, I just want to thank you all for having me, and I will hand it over to Judy.
Well, thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it. Kevin or Felice, can you see? My screen doesn't allow me to see if there are anyone with hands up with questions.
There are no hands up at this time.
Okay. Well, we thank you very much, Kate, and we hope that in the future you will come back and keep us up to date on what's going on in the park.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and happy fall to everyone.
Thank you. These are an exciting list of programs. We appreciate it. Okay, next up is Mubin, I believe, to talk about the Rupert Park Beautification Volunteer Day. Hi, Mubin.
I thank you, Felice. Thank you, Judy. Thank you for having us. For those of you who don't know, my name is Mubin, and I'm with Muslim Volunteers for New York. We're stewards. We have been stewards of Rupert Park since 2017. It's an exciting. We have a semi-annual fall park beautification and environmental stewardship day coming up. We're very excited to share a little bit about that with all of you. Kevin, may I please request you? I sent you a couple of images. Is it possible to share them on the screen here? Thank you. So as you can see, Kevin has just actually put the image of the flyer that we had sent to CB8, and a lot of the neighbors and a lot of our outreach focuses on sending this information out along with the registration link. So that's the flyer for the event. Hopefully many of you have seen it. If not, please reach out and let us know. And maybe Kevin, you can put the registration link for the event in the chat as well. We do require people to register for this event. It's an event for families. It's a free event for family, children, and people of all ages. Again, people with all abilities. We do a wide variety of activities to keep everyone engaged, and at the same time do a day of a wonderful service for the neighborhood. So we will be basically planting daffodil bulbs, which will be one of our primary activities, as well as mulching the northeast quadrant of the field. We have been working in concert with the Dog Park Collective with respect to that. Since we don't plant in that quadrant anymore, they have requested that we mulch that. It's essential for the park to have that. So we will be doing that again. We will be painting the beautiful red brick facade that we did in some parts of the park that really livened up the park. We're hoping we can expand that this year and do, paint more of the concrete to brighten the space and make it more inviting for the neighbors and the public. We will also be offering, hopefully, I will ask Sheena to see if she has any update on that, but the New York City Parks has been very, very kind and always provided urban park rangers for our events. We're looking forward to their attendance again. They're a big attraction, especially for the younger volunteers that come. They really teach us a lot about safeguarding New York neighborhood parks and the flora and fauna that we can find in New York. So it's always very exciting to have them there. There will be music playing to keep everyone's spirits up. There will be wonderful giveaways that children and families can enjoy. And obviously, there will be complimentary refreshments. So we invite each and every one of you to please come and join us. Tell your friends and family to come and join us. We really thank New York City Parks, Partnerships for Parks, and of course, Council Member Julie Menon for providing us the funding to do this event time and again, twice a year, and be able to give the park the plants and the beautiful, facelift that we are able to do every time. So we appreciate all of you, and of course, a huge thank you to CB8 for always showcasing this event. I'm very inspired by the previous two presentations. Hopefully, we can have the same longevity as you have had at both Carl Schultz Park and Central Park, and can make a difference in the neighborhood. If anyone has any questions, myself and my colleagues are happy to take it.
Thank you, Mubin. This is always a fabulous program. Really appreciate it. We have one hand up. Jenny Carragher.
Yes. Hi. Thank you, Mubin. First of all, thank you for doing this important work. and I will volunteer. You'd mentioned that you're working in collaboration with the Dog Park Collective. Can you tell me about that? I'm focused on.
So when I say that, it's not like it's a partnership, we are required contractually to go and beautify the park, but we always communicate directly with Elizabeth and Elena of the Dog Park Collective to make sure that they can ensure that on that day, and again, I have to actually ask Sheena, and maybe you can also comment on this, we'll request New York City Parks that during the volunteer hours, that there are no dogs there, because we are obviously mulching that field. And from a safety and sanitary point of view, we don't want dogs in that not East Quadrant, which is the unofficial dog run right now. But we always work with them to make sure that the dogs are directed to the right quadrant in the park.
So thank you. My question was, I didn't know about this Dog Park Collective. I was hoping to be able to get in touch with them to learn more about the Dog Park Collective. So is there a website, or is there?
I don't have their website, but I do have an email for Elizabeth. Maybe if you can just send me, are you with a group, or are you just a neighbor?
I'm just a neighbor, and the reason I'm here is I'm very concerned about Rupert Park. And so I was delighted to hear that you're having a beautification day, which I love, but I go multiple times a day to the park, and I've never heard about this Dog Park Collective. So I
see. So it has nothing to do with us, but if you give me your name and email, if you don't mind, I can contact Elizabeth and ask her to get in touch with you directly.
Of course. Kevin, do you have my email, I believe? Kevin?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
you can just email it to me if you want to maintain privacy.
Thank you so much. But also, Mubin, how would I find out about this Dog Park Collective? Is it just for Rupert Park, or is it for
It's just for Rupert Park.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mubin. I really appreciate it.
Not at all. And we look forward to seeing you. We always like the neighbors to come and participate.
Of course, I will be there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jenny. And if you need help getting in contact with the Upper East Side Dog Collective folks, please let us know, and we'll be happy to help out. And thank you, Mubin. This is really, it's a terrific program. I've been out before on their Rupert Park Beautification Day, and it really is an amazing effort that you organize and that you put into this whole event. So thank you so much, and I encourage more people to register and show up for this event.
Thank you so much, Felice. Thank you for those kind words. Sheena, I don't know if Sheena is going to make a presentation, but if Sheena's there, Sheena, is it possible for you and me to touch base after this call?
Not after this call, because after this call, I'm going home to my daughter.
Okay, so let's chat tomorrow. All right.
I hate to bring this up, but has anybody looked at the weather for Saturday? Are we going to have a good day? And if not, do you have a rain date?
It's supposed to 70% chance rain for Saturday, a 64% chance rain for Sunday. It seems like every weekend we get in rain. It's not stopping. It's something is going on the weekend.
So Mubin, if you get rained out, will you try for the next Saturday?
So Judy, right now, officially our rain date is the very next day. So if for some, and so it really is a rain or shine event. The only time we postpone or cancel and change to the rain date is when it's, really heavy downpour. We have done events in light rain before and done the park beautification. But ideally, God forbid, if the weather seems really inclement, we're going to move it to Sunday. And we have things in place with New York City Parks to do that.
Thank you, Mubin.
So please do come out. So keep both those. I mean, hopefully, magically the weather will be beautiful. That's all we can hope for.
And Kevin put the link to register for the event in the chat. So if you want to register, please go do that. And it's also, I believe, on the community board website.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
Thanks. Judy?
Yes. Next, Sheena, if you have anything to report to us, we'd appreciate hearing from you.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, good evening, everyone. As they were speaking today for Carl Schultz Park, the gate on 86th Street Plaza was installed, the swing gate for Carl Schultz, that was installed. And regarding the cost for the East 87th Street public restroom, it's about 2.2 million. That's without any additional cost if the water lines have to be replaced. So the water lines will be additional cost. And I can't give you the amount because they will have to actually see it. Regarding the renovations to the basketball court and at Carl Schultz and pickleball, it's scheduled to start. I just got the email confirmation of in April. That's what the designated date is. It's in April, but I'll give you as we get closer in January and February, so we get closer, I can have a more exact date for sure for that project there. For 24 Sycamore, there's no start date for the design work at 24 Sycamore for the 24 Sycamore playground. So I'll update you as soon as we get that information. St. Catherine's, the design work is in progress. The only question they had was the sandbox. We rejected the sandbox because of all of the problems that we have with the sandbox. So we're just waiting for that to be satisfied. Regarding Rupert Park, there's really nothing happening there, but it's my park day. So there's nothing, taking place there. So John Jay Park, both the pool deck and the MPPA area it definitely is scheduled to start this fall. We just don't have a exact date yet. We met and they were supposed to get back to us so we can see how they were going to make sure they don't close off a lot of the areas for like the playground area and the restroom. So we're trying to work that out to make sure that the public still has access to both areas without it being a problem. Stanley Isaacs, we're working very, very hard in trying to keep the restrooms open for this winter. We upgraded the electricity, but due to the budget restraints, we might not be able to buy the heating unit that we need to keep it operational. But we have put in a request and now we're just waiting for OMB to give us the approval that we can purchase these things that we need. Without that, we can't get it, then we'll have to close for this summer. For this winter. Samuel Seabury, unfortunately, we cannot keep open this winter. There is no gas or electricity for the building, inside the building, so we are unable to keep it open for this winter.
Well, you're talking about the comfort station there, not
correct, the comfort section, the public restroom. Right. So we are unable to keep Samuel Seabury open, unfortunately. We tried very hard to see what we can do, but at this time we just can't, get the requested funding to do what needs to get done to keep the restroom open all year round, or all year round. So I connected with my PEP unit team for the month of September, and it was actually pretty good. We didn't issue any summonses for the three major parks: Rupert, John Jay, and Carl Schultz. They've been doing heavy rotation, and I think because of the heavy rotation they've been doing, this has caused a lot of a decline in any summonses that they will usually issue. So that's really positive feedback that I got, a feedback report from them. And that's about it.
Well, Sheena, on 24 Sycamores, I've been speaking to Steve about that. I think they're going to hold on that until the next fiscal year to see if they can raise some more money so that they can do do the whole thing all at once. So that's like kind of put on hold because he said we were going to have community input on that, but we're not really going to have that until the next fiscal year and they see what kind of
Additional funding they can provide.
and also there was another one that you mentioned. They're looking for additional funding on some of the parks. So Seabury is another one that they hope next year they will get additional funding on. So that's just going to have to wait for our next fiscal year in beginning in 24. I did want to ask you about St. Catherine's and the sandbox. We had talked during the community input that that was one area that the swings and the sandbox could be redone. Maybe we could talk about this offline.
Okay.
We can get more information on that, or maybe we have to go back to Steve about that. Those were my only comments, and it's great to hear that the numbers were down on the summonses and that things are working out better in the parks. Oh, I do have one other question on the hockey rink. Do you have any Stanley Isaacs up there? Do you have any information on when that's?
I do have a meeting next week, so I don't want to report on that until I get the definite answer, and I'll let you know once I complete my meeting next week.
Okay, great.
All right, but it's a go.
I know
But
it's a
we
go.
did. It's a go.
Actually, I'd like to talk to you offline about that one also.
Okay.
Maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
And Sheena, is there, you said nothing new at Rupert Park. I know where, you know, we continue to wonder when that construction is actually going to get started there. Most of what we heard is that it's at the law department, but it'd be helpful to know when this project is actually going to start moving forward.
Yeah, we still have to wait for them to get back to us to give us, you know, the go ahead. So at this time, nothing has moved since last month. Steve is still on it. He's still pressing on it. So we're waiting. It's a waiting game right now, and it's probably won't get like so much of an answer probably to maybe towards the end of the year. With all of the stuff that's happening with the city and the budget and stuff, we probably just their intention, their you know, direction is probably going elsewhere right now.
Thank you. So Judy, we have a couple people with their hands up. Mubin and then Jenny.
Thank you, Felice. Hi, Sheena. Sheena, quick question. Do you know if they've already baited Rupert Park, or are they going to do it closer to the park event date?
Rupert parks get baited on a monthly basis, so I don't know what date they baited it already. If they have already done it, they're not going to do it again, because it's already done. So I can find out.
All right, when I chat with you about other things tomorrow, maybe we can just touch base on that as well.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Jenny again. And Sheena, I was online. I was trying to get in touch with you and Therese Flores, and the email I have is wonky. The reason I'm here, first of all, I want to thank everyone for being here. You guys are doing incredible work. But for over 5 years, I've seen how awful Rupert Park is. And I know the renovations were supposed to be completed in 2022 and then with COVID, but I just don't understand why this project, when last time I heard it, won't even be completed until 2025. And it's not like a hospital with a ton of work, with a ton of legal stuff or other to be done. A lot of it's, raising the ground, leveling it, and ordering new fences and stuff. And the park is quite good at this because it's their bailiwick. So, my kids are now 20. It looks like a lot of people here might have kids who are no longer in that toddler age, but it's now 7 years where our community where we pay taxes is not able to use the park really. It's not really usable. So I'm just wondering if there's anything we can do to expedite the execution of this. I know there's a lot of other stuff in budget cuts, but it's now been, it was already allocated a budget in 2021. It's now 2023, and it's not going to be completed at least until 2025. It just doesn't make sense. But also more importantly, and I'm so grateful, Mubin, for the work you're doing, but it's a really dangerous park. It's not well maintained. It's not clean. There's, aside from what you're doing, Mubin, which sounds like bulbs, which are just, in the spring or the fall, there's really, the planting is horrible. And there's a lot of broken glass there that's associated with the wood chips. So I'd love, Sheena, if I could get your email address where I could send you a letter that I've written. And as a community board, I really am just so upset at how this has happened and the lack of attention and direction and motivation to, and this is my first time I've ever been active in the city. I've lived here my whole life. And it just doesn't make sense to me. Everyone says, oh, the government's broken. You can't get anything done. You can't get answers. And I'm so disappointed if that's the case with this Rupert Park, because again, it was supposed to be completed in 2022. And I know there's COVID, but it's outdoor work. This is not a hospital with 20 floors and operating rooms. Like, I just don't understand. And I would like to show you and the entire community board how dangerous it is. Just this morning, someone told me that their boyfriend tripped and had to go to the ER because he had sprained his toe, because there's so many objects and dead bushes and trees and shrubs that have not been removed, which are real hazards. So Sheena, if you could give me an email, that would be great. And then maybe you could tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Well, the project is going to happen. Of course, there's been some delays because of COVID. And but the funding is still there. No one took the funding away. We just having some little minor legal issues that's taking place now. And once that is past us, we hope to move into the stages of starting to break ground. There is a lot of issues in Rubik. That's why we received the funding to get to do the park over. We are going to remove some of the trees that are hazardous, and we're going to plant additional trees. But it's not a perfect park. Staff does a really good job at maintaining it, but we do have people that come in the park and do things that they're not supposed to. It's not like we have a major crew that stays there. The great thing about this new project is it's going to bring a bathroom to the facility where we are able to leave staff there to maintain it on a 7-day basis from 7 in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon, and some days later during the peak season. So the future looks much brighter than it is right now. It is a little grim, but we're going to start this project hopefully next year, in the early part of the year. Our chief of staff is working extremely hard at trying to get this project off the ground, because like you said, it was supposed to happen years ago, but because of some other issues, not our fault, we have to wait until these things come about. So I do, respect your view of it, but the park is going to get done, and the outcome is going to be beautiful at the end of it.
First of all, can I get your email? Because
Sure you could.
Can you give it to me now, and then I have some comments, please? What is
okay? You could get. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, so Sheena, you said that there's some minor hiccups. It's now been delayed by 4 years, so that's not a minor hiccup. You say there are legal issues. I can't imagine that the project was started in maybe 2020 and it's now to end of 2023 and the legal issues haven't been resolved. I can't imagine what the legal issues are. There's already an existing park. It's not like we're converting something. And you say it will happen, but as I point out, if it takes 7 years, that's 7 years from a child being 2 years old until 9 years old, which is peak for a child to use a park. And when you say it, please let me finish. And when you say it's a little grim, there is broken glass everywhere. It is not grim. It is unsafe. Literally, people are tripping because of exposed pipes and exposed sanitation things. And it's absolutely unusable right now. And and my point is, even if it's not being reconstructed, I feel like the Parks Department over the past 5 years has literally given up on this park. There's no staff. There's no new no one, the reason when you have a bush or a tree that dies, you take out the roots of it is because it's dangerous. no one has taken a hoe and actually removed all these dead plantings. No one's replaced them aside from Nubian. There's no fertilization. It's really absolutely unacceptable. It doesn't make any sense that the parks have completely, abandoned it. And moreover, I appreciate your work, but it's not okay to say there have been hiccups. There haven't. It's been delayed by 4 years.
To
And
our
by the way,
defense,
no one cares about, people might care about a bathroom, but that
But-
should not be a carrot, meaning we need
it's
to have
not a
usable
carrot,
part
but it's
now.
something that's going to help us be able to maintain it
Okay.
on a 7. Let me
Yeah,
hear me out.
Okay,
It's
okay,
going-
fair, yeah.
All right. It's going to help with the maintenance of the park on a 7-day basis and even extend it and bring other things to the park. I'm not responsible, nor is the people at the Parks Department responsible for the things, the delay. We have to go through these things in order for it to we can't, snap our fingers and get it done. You're correct about it's been delayed, but we have to wait until everything gets in play before we can break ground. And we're working very, very hard at trying to get that. And as much as we would like to have extra staff, we just don't have it at this present time, right?
But it's not being maintained at all.
It is being made time. I'm going to disagree with you on that.
Excuse me, Sheena and Jenny. Jenny, thank you. We
Okay.
appreciate that you came to the meeting.
Thank
We
you.
got your point.
Yeah.
It's the first meeting you've been to. You don't, I think, really have the full process of Parks Department trying to build or fix any park. Takes many years because there's the drawing phase, the bidding phase, then the legal department has to go through all the contracts. Then it goes to OMB. There are so many city departments that a contract has to pass through before the contractor can actually start work. I think we're getting closer to that point, which is what Sheena is saying. And Felice and myself and Sheena follow up on this on a weekly basis. So please come back to next month's meeting. And now I think we have to move on to our next speaker, Jessica. So thank you for coming tonight. Can we
Thank you.
unmute?
I'm trying to unmute. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, you went through this plans for John Jay Park a little quickly. I didn't really understand when work is going to be started and which parts of the park are going to be open. I use the practice walls and the tennis court. So those 2 areas are particular interest to me. Can you elaborate?
Yes. So we spoke about, we got a minor contract to do some minor renovations at John Jay. So we're going to do the MPPA area over.
What is the MPPA?
The multi-purpose play area. So will you play tennis at? So will you play tennis at that area?
The tennis area. Okay.
That tennis area, which is a multi-purpose area. Right.
Okay.
We're going to do that. We're going to repave that area over.
When does that start?
Hopefully within the coming weeks, we're going to break ground. So we're going to let everyone know the exact date when we're going to start. We are not doing the handball court area over. We don't have the funding for that. And we're going to do the pathway outside of the MPP area, right? That walkway. We're going to do that area. We're going to repave that area over, and we're going to make a handicap accessible ramp on the further north side of the staircase. One of the staircases is going to do. We're going to do over. We're also going to do the pool deck over. And both projects are going to start at the same time.
Okay, Jessica, let's move on to Boaz now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, this is again regarding Rupert Park. My family, we are waiting for Rupert Park. Now, Judy, I know that the community board, whenever there is a pressing issue like congestion, pricing, or like the hospital, you guys are building some kind of a task force, as the community, putting some more emphasize on making sure that, to push the right people. Now, I don't want you to do the task force, but can we, because you need to understand, I mean, I know everyone are doing a great job, but we need a little bit more of the community board, pushing here. Can we, I don't know, add it to the agenda, even if like next month, parks, it would be like part of the agenda, follow-up status on Rupert Park. So, whoever is coming will know that he needs to give us, a clean status, or I don't know. I mean, what do you think about it? Because I can tell you, I can take you to a tour. I mean, the reason why you don't see a lot of people here complaining about this is because it's their mothers, parents, small kids, now they are, they are taking care of their kids, so they don't have time to join this meeting. But, we are waiting for this park for 4 years. I remember that there was like a vote years ago in the last moment to add a dog run, and it seems like it was, it was very rushed, the entire decision. I was against the dog run, but the good thing I felt was that, okay, you guys are going to start building the park like a week later, because if you remember, it was, okay, we need to decide about the dog now, and it was, what's going on. So, and now 3 years later, at least from my end, when I take the stroller, I see the same park. So anything you can do, if you can do your magic, it will be great. Thank you.
You're right, Boaz, but unfortunately here in the city, and Felice will confirm that, it takes a very long time. I have to tell you, Rupert Park is something that we speak with the Parks Department about almost on a weekly basis.
Okay.
And try and follow it up. But maybe you're right. Maybe not in November, because we'll talk about that in a minute, but maybe starting after the first of the year, we'll put it on the agenda every month, and parks
That will be perfect.
that it's an issue every month. Not that we'll get a different answer, but at least they'll know it'll be on our agenda.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's actually on my report at every month until we
know
can
it
get an
is.
answer. Until we can
But
get an answer.
I think if Steve knows it's listed as an item, it's different than Sheena giving her report. It puts a little more pressure on parks. So we'll talk about that tomorrow, Sheena, when we talk, okay? I mean, you're doing a great job, and this is not your problem. It's really a city problem, and how the city builds anything. So, I mean, Jessica Lappin was our council member and gave money for the upper part of 24 Sycamores Park. She was out of office 4 years. She gave it when she first got into office for 8 years, and she gave it 4 years after she was out of office. They finally fixed the upper part of 24 Sycamores Park. So it's a city problem. It really is. And I know it's not yours, but it's something we just have to keep pushing on. I just wanted to make a comment that for the November meeting, we seem to have a very long agenda, but Felice and I had decided that if possible, we were going to try not to have a December meeting, because everybody always seems to be so busy between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Felice, I don't know how you feel about that. I got another item today. We'll talk afterwards. I mean, do you want to make a December meeting, or do you want to just keep the November meeting a long agenda? Some of the items are not long, some will take some time.
I think my sense is that everybody would prefer just getting through a November meeting and not having one in December.
Okay, and then we'll go back to our regular meetings in January, and everybody can have a nice holiday time. So is there anyone else with a hand up that has anything to bring up?
I don't see any hands up.
Okay, then I move that we adjourn, and I thank everybody for coming tonight, and we hope we'll see you next month. We have a lot of very interesting things next month, very diverse. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you. And thank you,
Thank you.
Judy.
Good night.